Hello to all my friends out there. I hope everyone is doing okay. So I've been making bread and starter, and some of it has been pretty good and some of it is not. So I have a little black tea left. So today I finally found a starter that I think I'm going to like. I don't like the starter when it sits around for days. I think it tastes rotten. So I found this starter recipe and I really liked it. The only thing is it makes a lot. I mean, I just want a little bread so I can jump up in the morning, make myself a quick little batch of bread, and go about the day. So here's the one I found. Quick and easy sourdough starter recipe, Cowboy Ken Rollins. And it was 4 cups warm water, 2 1/4 teaspoon yeast or package, 5 tablespoons sugar, 4 cups flour, 1 potato cut in 4 pieces, ready 12 to 24 hours, good for 4 or 5 days, and it makes a lot. So what I like about it is I could make it in the morning and by at night, and by the morning it would be ready to go. So what I did is I had 1/2 cup flour, 1/4 teaspoon yeast, 1 tablespoon sugar, 1/2 cup water, and 1 potato. And that should give me, because you need about 1 cup starter for a batch. So here is what happened. No bad smells, nice and spongy, ready to go. All you gotta do is take the potatoes out. So I'm gonna make my bread right in the same bowl, because why should I make a big mess and then I have to clean it? And I just made this starter last night. So I need some warm water, and I'm just going to treat my starter like some yeast. So I'm heating some water, and this goes fast. And I'm going to use my Pioneer white bread recipe, because I'm going to make half a batch, because this just makes a small loaf. 2 1/2 to 3 cups all-purpose flour, 1 package dry yeast, which is the starter, 1 1/4 cups water, and 1 tablespoon sugar. Okay, so I want to put my sugar in my warm water. So I'm going to put a half a tablespoon. I don't want to get it too hot. Let's see. It's not ready. Okay, back over here. Okay, so the trick of adding the potatoes really works. I think if you don't have a potato, I think you could add beer. I don't see why not. The trick is to experiment around and find something so that if you don't have any yeast, you can make yourself some bread. And then when I get this dough done, I will save a little piece of dough, and then that is going to be my starter. That's what they did in the day. No rotten starter mixer, just save yourself. And this stuff smells really good. I put a small potato. And I just watch what I'm trying to do is get my sugar and my water to warm, like a warm bath. And it only takes a minute, and it's going to go fast. Okay. I got my water a little too hot. It just takes a minute to cool down. And then I'm going to make rolls. I have a little shortening, and now we can get paper towels. So if I need to, I'm still being very careful with the towels. You know how they're saying things are never going to be the same? Oh, that's because we're never going to trust them again, not to let something like this happen. Yesterday I was in a store that towards the front of the store, 30 people were waiting. And I thought, wow, you know, this is so dangerous. And I called the manager, and you know, he was really a smart, you know what, and I thought, well, I'm pretty smart too, and I'm not shopping in your store again, because this is what you're doing when I'm seeing you. Now, I like a little, crowds are dangerous, don't let yourself be in them. That's how the Spanish flu second wave happened. So, half a cup of water. This is just going to be a little batch. Half a tablespoon of sugar, because that's going to activate your yeast. And I put a little salt. Salt is something you want to stockpile. I could use half of this, and I could make another batch, but I don't want to, just by adding like a quarter cup water and a quarter cup flour, I could keep it going. Uh-oh. Guess what? My tripod's starting to go down south again. See the bubbles? See the bubbles in my yeast? That tells me I got a good yeast going here. So I bought this flour. Let's try it. And my oven is on, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to rise it one time and bake it up, and then, you know, save a little piece of dough, and I should be good to go. So that I can make a little batch just like this of flour every morning if I wanted to, which is the goal, to make my yogurt, to make my own yogurt, to make my own bread. See all the bubbles? So it took me a while of trying various things. I wouldn't say they were entirely unsuccessful, but I wouldn't say they were successful. And I'm going to keep my dough in the refrigerator. And then I will just remove it and let it get room temperature, and voila. No bugs are going to get in. You know, as careful as I am, I still have a few gnats. Not to be tolerated. No gnats. Gnats are just mini flies. We want to be really, really careful with insects. Really careful. So basically, I'm doing the bread exactly. I'm just making a little loaf. You could make a whole loaf. But if you only need a small loaf when it's, or a small amount of bread when it's really easy like this, why make a big batch? And then when I get this done, I have some turkey meat and some cheese in the refrigerator, and I'm going to make myself some little turkey sandwiches. Or tonight I might make some sausage gravy to go with this. That would be good. The bread is mixing up pretty good, it looks like. You know, after you've been a bread maker for a while, you can kind of take a look at your dough. My dough is kind of forming into a nice little ball of dough. Look, I have a little piece of potato. Well, this is the campfire cook here in Southern California. Okay, so back to the 30 people. It was about 5 checkers and 25 people waiting around in the front of the store. Don't do it, you guys. The first phase could be the reintroducing the virus. Okay, so now I'm just going to... So this isn't too much of a mess. And if you rise your bread in a warm place, it's gonna rise. See my dough? Still too sticky, but it's getting there. Another thing about this that I've learned about this starter stuff, it does not rise quick like rapid rise, but you just want to put it in a warm place and let it double in size, and it will. See how my dough is kind of already springing back? So that tells me that my starter most likely was pretty successful. So this is a half a batch. If you just need a half a batch, just make a half a batch. This is very easy. Then you can make another batch tomorrow. It's this fast. And so then, okay, so that's good enough. Now, here is a little bowl. And I just want about this much for another little batch tomorrow. That's tomorrow's starter. None of this sitting around on the counter for 12 days stuff. No, I don't like that. I just want homemade yeast so that tomorrow I can make myself a little batch of bread. And I'm still exercising, you guys. So I'm watching the news every day to see how it's going, to see if there's a second wave in China coming our way. And if I have like one or two left, I'll just freeze them. So the dough looks good. Oh, one way to make sure that you're not, one way to really conserve money is to just make enough food that you need that day, and that's it. No, wasting. And I'm pretty sure these are going to rise just fine. I'm going to be shopping at Albertsons, Vons, and Ralph's. I think it's better to pay a little more and be safe. What I'm seeing too is these really narrow aisles. How are we social distancing ourselves if the aisles are so close, we're right next to each other? That's unsafe. So you want to shun these places. So I'm going to cover these with a napkin. This one I'm going to slip in the refrigerator. I'm going to cover those with a napkin. I'm going to let them double in size, and then I'm going to make myself a turkey sandwich. Okay, you guys, please. The second wave is no joke. In the Spanish flu, the second wave killed more people than the first wave. And what happened is they went to a parade and everybody got the Spanish flu and died. So another thing is if they're not being careful with their employees, then the employees are going to give you the coronavirus. So you don't want to shop there. And you might say, well, they have masks and gloves. Well, so did the doctors and the nurses. And then these people turn up in the nursing homes and kill your grandmother, turn up in the hospitals and kill your doctor, kill your nurses. So just don't do it. Just stay safe a little bit longer. Today is Friday, so I'm being very careful until Monday.